In 1952, King Farouk of Egypt was forced to abdicate, and he was not happy about it. In his bitterness, the former king said, "Someday there will be only 5 kings left in the world: hearts, clubs, diamonds, spades, and England." I know a lot of people who like to cling to power even if they are not kings. Power-hungry people are all around us, little kings and queens. Sometimes they do nothing more than make those around them miserable with their thirst for power. There is a delightful short story written in 1888 by Rudyard Kipling called "The Man Who Would Be King," later made into a film. It is a fascinating story of 2 British adventurers in India. They were bored, so they decided to go to a far-off land and make themselves kings. They ended up in Kafiristan, where they convinced the local people that they were kings and gods. That didn't last very long, because one of them started to bleed, and the people saw this as a sign that these guys were no gods at all, no kings at all, but were just like everybody else. They were put to death for deceiving the people. These 2 were after power. How different is the kingship of the Christ? He too is a king, but does not seek power for himself. He rather seeks love. Whenever the people tried to make him king, he would run away. He wanted no part of that power. Would that more leaders of today were the same. Even at the end of his life, when Pilate asked him the question, "Are you a king?" he tried to talk around it. He couldn't deny it because he was indeed a king, but not the type of king they were looking for. He told him, "My kingdom is not of this world." This was not the answer they were looking for, of course. This was not the type of king they were looking for. They wanted someone who could take the reins of power and lead them to political victory. Not all kings are hungry for power. Not all kings like being kings very much. During World War I, King George V of England was having a luncheon with the American ambassador. The king asked him, "Your American president, how long is his term?" The ambassador replied, 4 years, Your Majesty." The king said, 4 years? If I could get through in 4 years, I would never run again." He was not thirsting for power, and perhaps it is people like this who make the best kings. My kingdom is not of this world. Where then is the kingdom of the Christ? We like to think it's above, that he is the King of heaven, and certainly he is. But I think he was speaking of something entirely different here. My kingdom is not of this world, because my kingdom is a kingdom of love, and there is so little of that around. My kingdom is the kingdom of hearts. I can take up my throne in the heart of anyone who will accept this reign of love, not for power, but for love alone. How many hearts are open to this, truly open to the reign of perfect love? Love can move us to do marvelous things. Let us look into our own heart today. Do we wish to hold on to grudges, hatreds, prejudices, jealousies? Or do we wish to become people of authentic charity, love, forgiveness? If we allow love to reign in our hearts and in our lives, then we have already made a throne for the Christ, the King of Hearts.